Hey guys, so we have another laser here, and this is a beginner-friendly laser. So this laser is from the company Loklik. Loklik, is you don't know them, they are basically on HTV round, and is their kind of the line that they use for their things. We have the DTF from them and a couple other stuff, and we use a lot of the materials in that corner over there. From them. So now they have laser, and this laser engraver is the Loklik iEngrave, and this is the version that comes with a cover, because at these times I believe it's important to now worry about making a class 1 laser. So they sent us these lasers to do a review and check everything about it. It's a laser that works directly with light burn, so it will be a universal like every other machine nowadays. So if you work already with light burn, this will work just perfect. So let's open the box and check what is inside this. So the first thing that we have here is a big letter saying Loklik. So let's check that out. It's a nice sticker, really hard though. All right. So we have here the machine warranty information in a couple of different languages, and this is what is on the inside the box. So then we have here some QR codes that are basically some information about the laser itself, precautions and things like that. So laser cover accessories. So we have a pretty decent amount of things in this box apparently. So we have the laser engraver itself, comes with a Wi-Fi antenna. So we have the antenna, we have the module laser here, the power adapter, some goggles, the cable, Allen wrenches. We have a different wrench here. We have a TF card and a card reader. That's new. I never got a card reader. We have a wooden brush, keys for locking the laser so no one can use it, a couple wood boards. Then we have left and right side panel. So we need to assemble the panel apparently. Top panel, front one piece, back panel one piece, front panel one piece, so on and so forth. So this is pretty straightforward. So I guess I'm gonna need to be looking at the manual how to assemble. All right, so well protected foam like always on the top. So we have the foam in here. I'm gonna put it on the side really quick, and I can see the panels here. So they're properly labeled. They're all protected and everything, and they are very well labeled. This is the back panel. This is the top of the back panel, so it will tell you even what is the top, so you don't put it weird. And it's completely covered in the film to protect the acrylic, which is nice. You know, you don't want to have this all scratched. This is again the front panel, and this is this is on the back as well, the top. Okay, so there's two areas for the back. Definitely this is going to be the front, and it has the logo there. Whee! It's the top of the panel. All right, what else we have here? So U-shaped connectors. There are things in here. So I want to show you this like this. Come on. So there's a couple things that are in between foam, and they have a label here. So you need to take this so you can grab that, I guess. Here we go. See? That's an interesting package. I mean, I'm gonna just say that it's kind of smart because you're saving space. But if someone is not careful enough and is not reading when you are opening, you might lose these parts. U-shaped connector bar. Again, they label everything, and not one time, multiple times. So this is the piece of foam that is covering the channel where they put this bar, and the bar is also labeled. So Everything is labeled. That's nice, because then I'm running in circles, not knowing what I'm doing. So apparently there's nothing else in here. Oh, this is a big panel here. What is this? Left side panel, this side upwards, so whatever. Yeah, so this is the top on the left side, and it has a little hole here for cables. So a 4-inch adapter with a big fan on it, and you have the plug. It's interesting. So I want to say it's been a minute since I've seen a laser that you need to assemble that much. But personally, I found these kind of things kind of fun to put together. So it's not a big deal. It's always like, oh, I don't want to put it together. One of the things that I learned over the years, ooh, this is nice. Over the years is that when you buy a laser or a machine, a hobby machine in these cases, and you are going to put it together, at the same time that you are assembling this thing, you're learning about it. And that helps you to understand your machine down the road and not have that much fear of touching it, because you put it together. So you know where each cable is going, you know how the things are working. When you don't put it together, you have the machine and something happened, you really don't know what to do. So in a way, I kind of appreciate that putting together part and understand better my machine. But at the same time, a lot of people don't like that. So I believe that they should have an option to do both cases, like buy it as a kit with a discount price and probably have a bigger box, better protection, and everything comes ready to plug and play almost. So I think it's something to consider. But me personally, I like to put things together. I like to take things apart. So, all right, so we have now reached the part where we are power adapter. This is a power adapter with 2 connectors. That's interesting. I'm gonna put it on the side here. And that is not labeled, so I'll figure that out, I guess, later. This is a brick. It's a small power brick. Doesn't need to be huge, but we'll see. There's nothing here. There's tools and razors, legs. This seems like an extended cable for what not. So leg extension. This is the leg extension pad. So it comes with the legs to raise it. This doesn't have a label, but seems to be. Oh, this is an LED strip. So you can put the lights inside the case or the cover. We have leg extensions here. More leg extensions. We have the handles for the door, and we have a couple material samples, the USB, and this is a connector. No, this is the Wi-Fi antenna and some zip ties. So that's what we have in here. Pair of goggles. They're always welcome. Always wear protection when you're playing with lasers. We have the 4-inch hose here. That smell of rubber. We have, this is the USB cable. Everything is well packed. I mean, they did an amazing job doing this packing because everything looks well packed. So here is the laser module. So I'm going to take it out really quick. And we're going to see what is this power output. I don't know anything about this laser really. I saw a couple of things online, and that's about it. Okay. So out of the box, use a dovetail system, which is pretty common. Here is the nozzle for the air assist. So we have air assist on the top. We have the cables also for the connection that is a little bit concealed, so you don't have cables on the back. It's here. Now this might make it a little harder to pull in and out, but there. So it's a fairly small module. This is something that caught my attention. The focal lever, similar to other machines that you pull on the side and goes a little feet down. This one is this. You flip it down like that and up, down and up. So you have a fire detection here. So you have that sensor over there. And overall it says laser model LEF01 at 10 watt output. Input 24 volts. And this has a laser optical power of 10-11 watts. So between 10 and 11 watts. So here it is. Now, I know. You all thinking, why you want to play with a 10 watt if you have 35, 40 watt, you have a CO2 and all that. Here's the thing. Lasers with a 10 watt, 5 watt lasers even, they gave you great detail. So you're engraving only, you're not cutting, you're planning to engrave. You want to engrave and you want to have that amazing, sharp, tiny details on a mandala, names, whatever. These 10 watt lasers are gold. A lot of people underestimate how well they perform engraving amazing details. So we're going to do that. We're going to engrave some amazing details. So here is that. Let's see if I can remove this without breaking anything. And that is basically without breaking myself. Here we go. There's nothing else on the side. And here's the machine. So interesting. This is very interesting. So the machine is concealed at the bottom. So because it's the version with the cover, I'm going to guess that after I install all the elements to put the cover, this is fully closed. That makes this a class 1 laser. Now, I don't know if these also have detection for turning off the laser when you open the lid. So we will figure that out on our assembling and experimenting with this. So there's a couple things here. It's like a Velcro or something. It has thumb screws to remove the base. But something that I'm seeing here is that there is no honeycomb. So that's interesting. Maybe that's an accessory that you need to get. So I'll look for that and see how that is. But yeah, I mean, the gantry is held by a couple screws with a bracket, so this won't move. Other machines back in the day, they send you this with zip ties. This one is actually properly attached to the frame. So let me move the box and show you this a little bit better. So let's do this. All right. So here is the machine itself. So let's bring the camera here for you guys. Whoop. All right. There we go. Okay, so here's the machine. So one thing that I noticed out of the box immediately, the antenna is right here. So the antenna will definitely be outside the enclosure area. Here is the antenna, void antenna. And then we have a power switch on and off. We have the key to lock the laser. We have the safety or emergency stop here. I wonder what it is. Oh, this is another thumb screw under. We have the SD card here. There is a reset option. That is one of those that you need to put a pen and reset the whole thing. And then you have the USB here. So it's kind of interesting that they opt to put everything in the front. It's a nice aluminum frame. The base seems to be made of I'm gonna say just a steel, painted steel. Doesn't feel the base as an aluminum. They took an approach a little bit different than other machines that are coming out on the market. So they are still using the rollers, but they're using the nylon wheels. So be aware, faster you move on a nylon wheel and how you set these nylon wheels here, they might need to be replaced in some point, but nothing wrong with this. This works just absolutely fine. It feels fine. I do believe that this can be changed in some point or adapt to a linear rail because I think it has a frame for it. So I will look into that. Then the gantry is also on. Yeah, the gantry is also on the same system with the wheels. Remember, this is a entry level laser, so you cannot expect a lot of different newer things. They put all the connectors with a little glue so they don't unplug automatically itself. This is a little notch here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. This little notch, let's see. This little thing here is for a limit switch, optical limit switches here. So it seems well made. So you can see here the base. If you need to raise and put bigger, thicker materials on this, you just remove this and you should be good to go. So you remove the plate. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 thumb screws. So you can remove this quite easy actually. And then the legs will go here. So you have the extension legs. So we're gonna be putting this laser together. We're gonna set it up on Liburn and make some engraving. I'm still a little bit surprised that they did not include a honeycomb because for cutting you want a honeycomb, and this will be able to work with a 1/8 basswood and plywood overall. Definitely is a laser that I will use more for engraving, and you can cut some thin materials, but very well made, very well packed, and now it's time to put it together. The last piece. Okay, so that basically finished the assembling of the laser team, the enclosure mainly. So I can tell you one thing, the legs that they have are nice. You can level the laser so it's not kind of a tilt or anything like that, so that's nice. It has a pretty good clearance, so if you're gonna do something with a rotary and you're gonna use a tall rotary, this has a pretty decent clearance for it. And there is one thing that it was very welcome in my opinion. It's super surprising that a lot of companies don't do this. The feet, I'm on a table that is mainly epoxy on the top, and everything is kind of a slide because it's super sleek. But these feet makes the laser stick to it, so it won't move. Now, I'm gonna imagine that will happen in the other surfaces that I have around, but yeah, I mean, it's sturdy. Keep in mind, this is a entry-level laser. This is a beginner's laser. So far, everything seems to be in the right place. I will probably appreciate a better inlet, since this is not completely sealed and it's not weather tight or water tight. The walls are not fully seated on the frame. They have like a little bit, so you can kind of undo the screw a little bit, push it down and tighten it up to make sure that you kind of close the gaps a little bit better to avoid some leak on the fumes. But there is no inlet of air, so those gaps are basically going to give you enough air, and we will test that. But it will give you, I think, enough air to have the fan soaking everything out of the enclosure. So far, so good. Honestly, I'm very impressed with such a small machine having all these small features here and there. The lid has the limit switches, so if you open the lid, the laser will stop firing. Personally, it's been a minute since I assembled a laser, but this one was pretty straightforward. You just glance through the manual. I did have to fetch one of the cables on the limit switches on this side for the door. This one, the cable was all the way behind the pulley, that is the one that tensioning the belt for the white axis. So I kind of tried to fish that with one of the Allen wrenches, just hook it up and pull it out, but that was there. It took me a minute to realize that I was down there. Other than that, so far everything seems pretty solid. I like the cover on the bottom that you can remove just with a couple thumb screws. The one that they sent me doesn't include the honeycomb. They do have one that includes the honeycomb, so let's give it a try now. All right, guys, so Loklik a laser iEngrave. So I did a couple tests, and I did first this card, and I'll show you this in a second. I'm gonna put it on the side for you to see a little bit bigger. But I did a test on this one. So the engraving basically was good. Nothing too fancy, but it works very well for this is a 10 watt. And then I cut a letter A. I cut it, and it was nice and clean cut for non-air assist. So one of the challenges that I have was that this machine was provided to us with no honeycomb, and the base that they have is too low for the laser head to actually focus. So we have to put a couple blocks. I use a couple blocks of acrylic to raise the material up so I can have that. I tried to cut the first intricate design and without the air assist, and it was a complete fail. The reason was that it was too much power. Probably I would lower the power and add some passes. I use settings that I used before with other 10 watts, but also they do have air assist. This one didn't. So with the air assist, when it got into the fine small details without the air assist, everything turns brittle. Like it's like basically just falling apart parts, right? And in this design, it didn't complete it. Then I hook up an air assist that I have, my compressor with everything, and I was able to cut it. And actually did a center piece that is really, really small, very, very good. So to be 100% honest, like I do with all my reviews, I wouldn't recommend a machine that doesn't have an air assist out of the gate. So if you're buying these machines, add the air assist or get the package that comes with air assist. Air assist is a must, especially if you are going to cut. So I wouldn't recommend buying the very basic model. Buy the next step, because the very basic one doesn't have air assist. Second one, you need a honeycomb or something to hold your material higher. This base model did not come with a honeycomb. That is something that I consider is a must. So you need to get one. Overall, the machine is really well made. There is nothing weird. The only thing that I found when I set up everything on Lightburn was that my Y was inverted. So it was homing on the corner, and when I sent it down with the jogging option, it was going back or up. So I just invert that on the settings. It's pretty straightforward. And after that, everything works fine. Make sure that you do your cable management really nice and move the gantry left and right a couple times, because if not, you are going to get these cables cut with a laser in no time. The big question is, for whom is this laser for? So who will buy this laser? This is a hobby machine, and yes, you can make money with this machine, absolutely, but it's not a production machine because it's a lower wattage. Also, it has some limitations on the space. They do have an option for the rotary. I wasn't sent that, so I don't know how that works. I cannot tell you how that works in that part, but I don't imagine that it's any different than any other machine. Their price point is very attractive. Let me pull this up for you. The basic model is $529, and this is with the enclosure. They have an open frame. That means that you don't have the orange enclosure on the top, which is $394. And then they have a couple different packages, but right now they are still on their pre-sale. So I'm going to correct on the pricing here. The base model is the very base, the standard kit, open frame without this is $389.99. The cover kit, the same but with a cover kit, and you get the exhaust, the hose for the exhaust is $529.99. And then you have an exclusive kit that comes with a couple extras, and the must-have kit. That's the one that I would recommend to anyone because it comes with an air assist. It also comes with a honeycomb board. They provide some goggles as well, but yes, definitely the must-have kit is the one that I would recommend to anyone that want to start. And again, this is a hobby laser. It has limitations because the wattage that is a 10 watt, it will be slower cutting. But yes, you can cut. I mean, once you put the air assist on, you can cut really intricate details, and you can cut. This is a 1/8 birch plywood. It's hard to cut, and also it's really difficult to cut sometimes because the glue is not consistent. And it cut it pretty good actually, but for a 10 watt I was really impressed how easy was the cutting. So the dot is really nice and compressed, and that works very well. But again, you need air assist. Do I recommend the machine? I think it's a good machine for a startup. You want to try to get your toes wet and see if this is something that you're going to use on your environment, and you like the kind of a laser engraving. So there you guys have it. Loklik iEngrave. This is the 10 watt version that they release right now. They're finishing their pre-sale, and it's actually, like I said, a very nice built beginner laser. This is a hobby machine for your house. Maybe try to start up and making some sales. It will be great for engraving more than for cutting. So there you guys have it. If you have any question, please put it in the descriptions below. Just all the links and everything are going to be for you available under this video. And as always, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and fire the laser.